been 2 months since I actually did a video on anything, and I am SuperAnimeGirl, so let's talk about more Marvel stuff. So Ant-Man is a story of Scott Lang, a man who's recently out of prison after doing a big heist of the company that he used to work at. He's trying to find a job, but unfortunately as an ex-con, he's having a very hard time getting a job. So, a friend that he was in prison with actually finds a heist job for him, and he goes in to, well, steal money, only to find a strange suit. Turns out he sneaks into the home of Hank Pym, a very well-renowned scientist and has a big corporation that he was voted out of by Crazy Dude, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Anyway, Scott Lang steals the suit and tries it on and then finds out that he can shrink to minuscule sizes, only to find out that Hank Pym was testing him to essentially become the new Ant-Man. The reason Hank Pym does this is because his former assistant, who now runs the company, is essentially trying to recopy his shrinking growing formula, and he's doing it kind of successfully, but he's also a little crazy. He's like Kingpin, only skinnier, but he's still bald. So all in all, Ant-Man is essentially a heist movie. This guy has to steal this suit, and it's just not what I expected, but in a good way. Essentially going into Ant-Man, I didn't think this movie was going to be good. Frankly, because Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd. I'm not saying he's a bad actor or anything, I'm just saying that he's always kind of played these dad-like characters, and he's playing a superhero who just so happens to have a daughter, but that's besides the point. I mean, it's just really weird for me, considering the very first movie I ever saw him in, he was like high off shrooms with Seth Rogen. It's knocked up, people. That's a really good movie. It was like, I think it's funny. But Paul Rudd's type of comedy actually works here, but unfortunately the one scene that I did have a problem with was the one where he was just shirtless and ripped, and that was weird, because Paul Rudd, I understand it's a superhero movie and you need that, but just never do that again. It was like seeing one of my friend's dad shirtless. It's weird. And speaking of casting, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Amazing casting. I don't know who decided Michael Douglas, but just perfect. For those of you who really don't know the origin of Ant-Man, Hank Pym was originally Ant-Man, considering he's the one that created the suit, and now that he's older, he just passed it on to Scott Lang. But in all honesty, Michael Douglas plays Hank Pym so well, I kind of want to see like a prequel, like seeing the original Ant-Man in his heydays. I mean, I know Michael Douglas is old and you'd have to use makeup, but hey, stunt doubles and makeup can do miraculous things, especially on makeup. You think this comes naturally? No. This was like 10 minutes of hard work. And another thing I was really worried about was this movie was just going to be so underwhelming and not tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. Because if you were actually following up on what Ant-Man was going through, Ant-Man wasn't originally supposed to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but now it is. So I was a little worried how they were going to tie it all in, but to my surprise, it actually fit in very well. I'm not going to spoil how they actually tie it all into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I do genuinely think you need to see it yourself, because it is actually tied in better than a lot of the main Marvel character movies are. And oddly enough, this movie is extremely downplayed, but I think I can see why they kind of did that. I mean, think about it. A couple of months ago, we just saw a sentient robot try to destroy the world with countries just falling to the ground and explosions and epicness and trailers and just a really random subplot with Black Widow and the Hulk getting together, even though that really doesn't make much sense because she was flirting with Captain America and Winter Soldier, and we all thought they were going to get together, and then some people thought Hawkeye and her were going to get together, and it was a weird, awesome movie. So I could see why the people that were making Ant-Man kind of toned it down a little bit. Unfortunately, that could also be a downfall, especially if you're a Marvel fan. I mean, let's look at another movie that had some pretty unknown superheroes, Guardians of the Galaxies. That was an epic. Everybody was so excited after that movie came out, and we all had faith in it. This, however, when I was looking into it, is one of Marvel's lowest grossing films, even though it's #1 in the box office at the time I'm doing this. But does that mean Ant-Man's a bad movie? Absolutely not. I genuinely think even if you're starting to get a little tired of Marvel movies, you should go see it, because it is, well, a Marvel movie, so it's funny, there's action, the effects are great, the fighting's awesome, and dude, it's just really funny, and you can make Mad Men jokes in this. Just go see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Do I suggest this to people that probably don't know a lot about Ant-Man? Well, actually yes, because they do explain a lot of what the original origin story from the comic books are, and Marvel fans are gonna enjoy it because it's a Marvel movie. We all kind of expect them to be good at this point. So, till next time, I'm the SuperAnimeGirl, and I'm gonna try and promise to bring out more videos.